Welcome back to Arissa O'Reilly, man. Shout out to the gods and goddesses, man. Happy Black History Month. We still in the building. Listen, man. Hey, got a dope topic we need to talk about today, man. It's very important to us rebuilding as a people and recalibrating, man, and understanding the culture. People do not understand what culture is, but culture is damn near undescribable in the sense that we live in today, because people don't listen to each other to add on to what it means to be a people. But we need to start listening to each other, because everybody got a piece of the puzzle that, as to what it takes to be a better people. You feel me? So look, this is what I'm going to talk about, though. I hear, a lot of people, sometimes they get tired of just hearing that about what we was and all this type of stuff. You feel me? Because they so used to hearing about what other people was. And what I mean by that is this, you know what I'm saying? They watching TV shows that's always constantly giving out history based on historic facts. They go to school and they hear about other people and their history and stuff, you know what I'm saying? In fact, it's rare to hear about our history and culture, you know what I'm saying? What made us great, how we became a nation. So it's easy to remember something when something's repeated, right? And you see it in different forms and fashion, it's messing with your psyche and all that type of stuff. But anyway, we forgot a lot. We forgot a lot about when it becomes us. We don't recognize our own symbols and our own names and stuff. So I'm going to talk about a few things, you know what I'm saying? One of the first things that was taken from us in regards to taking our culture and our tongue, you know what I'm saying? One of the first systems that they attacked was the educational system. Our educational system predates the current educational system. Let me explain before I go into my story. In the current educational system, all that's required for you to learn is study something, remember it, take a test, pass the test, and move on. They only teach you to follow instructions. Cool, ain't nothing wrong with that in today's time. But in the African culture, it was something wrong with that. You feel me? But we about to get to the reason why. Now, they attacked our educational system. That was because that was the stronghold of us. Our spiritual system, we didn't have religion like people call it today. We had spirituality. What do I mean by that? It didn't matter what title you use or what names you placed on the spiritual system that you were using. That was invalid. What mattered most was you effective and was you not effective? And how do we transfer information to each other to become more effective, right? So I'm dealing with right now educational system. Now, like I just said, the system now is just remember, pass the test. You feel me? In our system, it was quite different. And that's the reason why they had to attack it, because it was too effective. But they reissued it in a lighter fashion to where it was less effective to people coming together and having the essential need to get by. But people might not feel that way according to this day and time. But anyway, here you go. According to our system, you have what was called the initiation system. An initiation system was the education system. That's where they get it from. So what would happen is this in the initiation system. In all the Aboriginal tribes, you know what I'm saying, the cultures. Once a child become old enough to where they can start paying attention to what's going on, they begin initiation, training, and all type of stuff. So what it was the whole community had responsibilities. So you would have the 6-year-old would have to teach the 4-year-old. The 8-year-old would have to teach the 6-year-old. The 9-year-old would have to teach the 8-year-olds. The 12-year-olds had to, all the way up until the elders of the community. But what happened was this. We would teach and teach and teach and teach and teach the things that was needed to be to take care of the family, the things that was needed to what's name. It wasn't no loose responsibilities. Now, you had your free time to do stuff, but you had to teach. So one of the first things that you learned was the family trade. What do I mean by that? And I'm going to bring up polygamy for a minute because it fits the description. So you have a husband, he have more than one wife. One wife is good at weaving, so she make clothes and stuff. Another wife, she might be a hunter, because there were women hunters. She's good at hunting. Her brother is good at hunting. We're gonna because just for Americanized system, her brother's a hunter. Her other brother's a blacksmith. Her other brother's a warrior and all these different things. Her other brother is just, he loved to tinker with an advanced technology. The other one is a philosopher. Another one a great writer. So what would happen is this, and so on. All the things that it takes to build in a community, people in your tribe and in your family knew how to do these things. So what would happen is this, the responsibility factor kicked in. So if the child coming up, first we begin to teach them the basic things. As soon as they become aware, even if it's something simple as, hey, listen, I'm back here cleaning up the backyard, go get that paper and put it in that basket. They learn these things at a young age, and these kids enjoy doing it. And as they get older, they advance to greater tasks that's meant to help the community and the family thrive and become bigger, better, and to be more in tune. So they would do these things all the way up until adulthood. And as the child matures and they start to see the quality and characteristics that the child has, they would, because the child, even when they coming up and beginning to learn stuff, oftentimes they don't know how to do the things that they say. It's grown people over here and all over the world that have an ideal of what they want to do but don't know how to do it. That's why they ain't the best at it. And I ain't talking about the best as better than everybody else. I'm talking about the best that they can be at it. You know what I'm saying? And they ain't, so anyway, so they would take the child and they would send them to the Pacific institution, family trade that administer that. And it always has something to do with spirituality in there. You know what I'm saying? So, and it always had spirituality and education and science cannot be separated in the original African and ancient worldview. That was all one. You can't even get physical activity without spirituality. Rather, it's negative or positive. But we ain't going to talk about that. But what I'm saying is the people, they always have had their own systems to where they groomed their people, the young men, the young women, the gods and goddesses, to be great and to always, and the skill that's needed is within the family. Now, I say that to say our system been broken and it been replaced and it been funneled through religious intolerance, culture intolerance. Well, it was culture intolerance first, then religious intolerance, which was spiritual intolerance, and it trickles all the way down to classism and then to racism. You know what I'm saying? But it funneled through slavery and all that type of stuff, right? So everything been fractured. And I say that to say that the truth of the matter is we need more responsibility in our communities. We need to start studying our culture, because we have a culture, not just no rap shit, not just no, people in the hood dressing a certain way. You know, that's not culture. That's a part of the culture. That's a fiction. That's a faction of the culture. It's not culture as the whole. Since the people be putting stuff on it, the culture. But do you understand what culture means? Culture represents the highs and lows of a people. How they see themselves in relation to other people. You know what I'm saying? How they see themselves in relation to creation, nature, and their creator. It's an ideology that connects, and it's how do they see themselves as far as their genetic makeup, their beauty, their art. All this type of stuff plays a part in culture, but it's one glue. It's deeper than what I just said, but it's the heart of it. You have to, your data system establishes you as a culture, which is the history. You see what I'm saying? your interdetails that links and builds the network of what everybody represents as an individual and as a whole. That's culture. It ain't BT, it ain't rap. You know what I'm saying? That's not the whole of culture, bro. So people need to get that in their head. So we need to get back. When I'm saying that, I'm saying we need to get back to our original culture. Because in our original culture, we would understand that qualification and how to get people, you know what I'm saying, together, and how to get our family together, and how to put the youngsters among people that they need to be around. If I'm a carpenter and this little kid is interested in dancing and singing, I'm going to put them around my family member that know the art of dancing and singing. I'm going to put, if he's a warrior, I'm going to put him around the people that understand martial arts. You see what I'm saying? But when it comes to work and building, he's going to learn in my systems. So what happens is this: in every family, everybody know how to do something, right? So if everybody know how to do something in every family, why is we sending our kids to foreign entities, bro? To learn something, to get back. Responsibility, you got a responsibility to that seed. That's your bloodline. That's your bloodline. You see what I'm saying? Whether it's biological or communal. That's your bloodline, man. This is what interacts with your bloodline. You got a responsibility to that. So if you find a little young guy and he interested in the things that you doing, you're supposed to bring him up under your wing. If what he want to do is outside of your field of expertise, instead of thinking that you the man's out here and we this and this and that, you need to recognize who's qualified. If they ain't if they're a part of the community or within your family, quit trying to think that it's only one, man. The concept of the one is trash. It's trash. You look at the movie The One. You see what he was doing? He was going around in Jet Li movie in The One. He was going around knocking off everybody that looked like him, that had the potential to do the same thing he's doing. The illusion was that he was becoming stronger. The reality was that he was becoming weaker. And it took the cop, the one that represented justice, to get him and throw him in the cage. And when he threw him in the cage, yeah, they seen him in there whooping people, but eventually what happens? You weaken yourself, because being the one makes you weak. It makes you weak. When you the many, it makes you strong. You see what I'm saying? The Hydran effect. Chop off one head, 12 heads pop out. That's what the many do. You see what I'm saying? The one concept is trash, man. If you really trying to do for the people, get back to our original culture so we can understand that qualifications with S builds community. And being able to identify when I don't have all the tools, because we all don't know everything. We missing something. We missing a lot of shit. But we need to get back together. This is the African culture. This is what Black History Month about. Not only are we just talking about how great we were in the civilization we built, what are the lessons? What are the lessons that we're supposed to carry with us today? And that's some of the stuff we about to start building on too, because we need to learn what brought us together, what made us strong, what made us be. That's what the history is for. And we embrace what made us together and what made us strong. In my opinion, bro, we have to get back to the initiation system. The educational system that we have today teaches us to be slaves. Pass the test, follow instructions, go get a job, bam, that's it. Leave your kids to do whatever. No, man, we need to get involved. It ain't just the kid, we need to help each other too. If you know somebody that's interested in the field of work that you're doing, it shouldn't be no problem to pick that brother or sister up, teach them what they need to know so that they can be effective in the world. Especially as Black, as brown, well, I'm going to say as colored, and then as oppressed people. Because it goes deeper than just color and race too. Though racism and classism is real. But if you are oppressed people, man, and you are a people that is in need of survival mode due to systemic created environments, systemic oppression, and systemic economic oppression, right? You need to get back to these core principles of the initiation system. Start leaving the traits or the skills and trades. Teach them to your youth. Teach them to your brother. Teach them to your sister. That's to the gods and goddesses out there. If you got ears, hear this. If you got eyes, man, matter of fact, forget the eyes because you can't see me doing it. But if you got an imagination, imagine it, bro. And if you got feelings, make yourself feel good about this. You feel me? And if you have any form of rationalization, rationalize it to the point where it makes sense so you can implement it. You know what I'm saying? And then let's have an experience about this thing here, man. On the love. You feel me? Well, I'm just checking on my way, babies, man. I just wanted to spit that back to the people, you dig? That's to the guys and goddesses out there, man. Y'all already see what it is. You see, I stay in it. I stay representing. You feel me? I stay representing. You see it. Life. That's what this symbol represents, life. This was the first form of the cross, too. But you know what the top part represents? That part right there is the womb. You know what I'm saying? That's the womb right there. This line, that's the divine law opposites. This represents the fellas. Nothing comes into manifestation unless these two come together at this point right here. And life is produced dead in the center. That's what the Unk Cross represents, man. Life. The masculine and feminine principle must unite in order to produce life. You feel what I'm saying? That means if you're talking about biology, that means men and women must come together to produce life. It's a union. So that means, but it's deeper than just the biological aspect of gender. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, yeah, we got to build on that, man, some more, man. But this is one of the lessons that I say, man. If you got a skill, you got a trade, man. You know what I'm saying? And even if you just did this among your family, man, you know what I'm saying? Teach it to the youngsters. If you got a business that you started, you know what I'm saying? Some of the first persons that you're supposed to be getting is the children that can't say no. The 8, 9-year-olds, the 5 and 6-year-olds doing small little tasks around here. Teach them your trade, man. They're your first employees. That's what the family structure is all about. You don't just have kids is a blessing, man. Kids is wealth, man. That's a course. I'm going back to my culture. I can't speak for the rest of this. I'm on African culture time right now. You feel me? This Black History Month, bro. I'm gonna keep on in time right now, bro. Your kids is your wealth. Kid that hang with your kid is your wealth. You dig what I'm saying? That's your wealth, homie. This is what we gotta get back to. This is how we keep our communities in line. That's how we have our community protect us. That's how we have our community create business for us. You feel me? We can teach it. If you went to college and you learned something that you do not use, you can teach that to a youth and he can use it or she can use it. This is what I'm saying, man. We have obligations. If we want to make our environment more safer and more beautiful than it was when we inherited it, when we first inherited, this is the golden principle. It starts here. And we have to stop. I'm going to say this again. We have to stop using religious, class, culture, intellectual intolerance, bro. That's the Willie Lynch syndrome. Look at his differences, blow it up to where they can't see that the differences is really small, and pitch them against each other with their differences. That got to be broken. So I'm saying, though, let's get to this, man. Now, I know I said a whole lot, but if you could take any part of this information and put it to work, I guarantee you that you will see great, great, great results. Because now you empire building. Now you building family networks. and everybody is a participant. If you can't get the older people, you can't get the little teenagers that's up in age, that don't matter. Grab the youngsters. They'll double back around when they see the prosperities coming from you and the youngsters. You owe that. I don't care what nobody, you owe that. So let's get to it. Let's get it back. You feel me? One love, many life, one nation, one struggle. This is for the gods and goddesses out there, man. Peace. It's your boy, man. Had to check on my way, babies. Young Chevy, what's up, love? You know, you know I keep the oil slick paint job wet in this motherfucker. You understand me? But holla at your boy. One love.